I just finished processing a butternut squash and made it into puree, and now I'm gonna make the most delicious butternut squash gnocchi. So come on and join me and watch how easy it is. Welcome to The Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life, using real food, and we keep it real simple. In today's recipe, you might be saying, wait a minute, making gnocchi is not simple, it's complicated. No, it isn't. And I was so shocked to find out how easy it is and how few ingredients you need. So let me just quickly tell you how I got introduced to butternut squash gnocchi, because it kind of might seem like an odd choice of ingredients. I was at a resort in Nemacolin and went to a restaurant, and they served a butternut squash gnocchi in a sage butter sauce. And literally, it was the best thing I've ever eaten. These little gnocchi were so pillow soft, they just melted in your mouth. They were like little flavor bombs, and the crispy sage, out of this world. And if you're thinking like I was thinking, wait a minute, I'm not gonna eat a sage leaf, that would be gross. Oh, no. When you fry them in the butter and they get nice and crispy and you eat them, they are almost like candy. And that is exactly what I'm gonna show you how to make today. I'm so super excited about it. You won't believe how easy it is. All right, first of all, I'm gonna jump right into here. We're gonna start boiling water. You know why? Because this does not take very long at all. And we need 10 cups of water to come to a boil. Whether you wanna use your Ninja Foodi or your Instant Pot on sear saute or a big pot on the stove, makes no difference. So just bring 10 cups of water to a boil. And the only other equipment that you're gonna need is a fork, and that's to roll the gnocchi after we form them, okay? That's it. And it's, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this because it tastes perfect, and it's, oh my gosh, so delicious. All right, here we go. 2/3 of a cup of butternut squash puree. Now, to do that, I have a video on how long to pressure cook the butternut squash from whole, or you can get the frozen kind and cook it down and then puree it, strain the liquid out. You don't want it real liquidy. So if you're like cooking it and it's kind of liquidy, make sure you strain that so that you can see this is nice and thick and on the dry side. You could also use canned pumpkin in this recipe if you want it. 2/3 of a cup. Now, the seasonings I'm gonna add in are really simple, but they are like fall spices. They're gonna pair really nicely with the sage. And that is 1 teaspoon of fine ground sea salt, which you absolutely need to use to flavor the gnocchi. But other than that, you can switch around the seasonings all you want. And I have 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. When I say you have to use it, obviously you don't have to do anything. You can leave out the salt if you want, but it's gonna be very bland, I'll just tell you. 1 egg yolk, no white, just egg yolk. That's all we need in there. 1 tablespoon of a very thick Greek yogurt. I make this myself, so it's almost like sour cream. You could use sour cream if you wanted instead, but that might change the flavor profile a little bit. So what I would do if you don't have a really thick homemade Greek yogurt is I would use a little bit of ricotta. So a tablespoon of ricotta if you have that. If not, use the thinner stuff of a Greek yogurt, not a regular yogurt because that is going to be way too thin. But a regular Greek yogurt, go ahead and use that. You just might need a little bit more flour. All right, now for the flour, I put in 1/2 of a cup, and you can use all-purpose flour, but if you have the 00 flour, which is used a lot in Italian cooking, like pizza crust and pasta and things like that, if you have that, use that. That's what I'm using today. I've tried the recipe both ways. They are both delicious, but the 00 flour makes a little bit softer of a gnocchi, and it's like biting into a pillow of flavor. It's really, really good, but either one will work. All right, now let's go ahead and just mix this up right in our bowl until all the ingredients incorporate. You're gonna end up like kind of with a crumbly mixture, but we're gonna fix that, okay? We're gonna turn this into a nice gnocchi dough, I guess you'd call it. All right, so when it gets like that, it's pretty much all together. There's just a little bit of loose stuff at the bottom. And what I like to do is with my cutting board, have a little extra flour, whether it's the 00 or all purpose, it won't matter, okay? And put about a tablespoon right on my cutting board or whatever clean flat surface you want to make your gnocchi on. And then we are gonna dump this out right onto the cutting board. Now it's gonna be sticky at first, okay? Because you do need to add a little bit more flour to it, but I like to start out with less. Less is more. You don't wanna have a too dry of a dough or it's gonna be a real tough gnocchi, okay? So what I do is I take another bit, put it on my hands, pat around, and then just sort of like I'm kneading a dough, but we're not really. We don't need to knead this. We just need to pull it together. But I do the same process because maybe it's just habit. Anytime I have a ball of something on my cutting board, I feel like I'm kneading a dough. Here, I'm going to shape the dough, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, it's looking pretty good though. When your fingers no longer stick to it and you can't see flour on the outside, then your dough is done. So I can still see flour. So I'm going to keep just turning it until I can no longer see flour. But then look what happens. I start getting some sticking again. So we go back into the flour, another tablespoon right on top. And you just keep doing this. If it's sticking to your board, put a little bit more down. Remember though, with the flour, less is more, but you need enough so that we can roll it out and it'll hold together too when we boil it. All right, that looks good. Now I'm gonna put a little bit more flour down here just so the bottom won't stick because it might sit there and stick just a little bit. So we don't want that to stick. All right, I'm gonna scrape this off to start with like a clean surface. We'll let this sit for about 5 minutes. We're not even close to having our water boiling. That's why I say get that on because it does take some time, especially if you're using the Instant Pot or the Ninja Foodi. Then we will divide this into 4s. We will roll out our gnocchi and get them into the boiling water. And we do need to salt the water. So let me clean my hands off and then we'll get that water salted up. So now don't be too shocked when you see me put in 2 tablespoons of fine grind sea salt. This is a half of a tablespoon measure, so I'm going to be putting in 4. You want to put in 2 to 3 tablespoons of fine grind sea salt or kosher salt. You want your water well salted, just like when you're making pasta, and that should be about like a seawater, okay? So it's going to be very salty. It's only going to add flavor. You're not going to, consume all that salt, so don't worry about that. All right, next thing I do is cut this dough in 4ths. Now, if it's real sticky, we might need to add some more flour. But for right now, I'm not going to because I'm going to show you how I roll these. And if it'll roll being nice and soft like this, you're going to have a nice soft gnocchi, okay? But we might still need a little bit more flour. We'll see. All right, so I take my little triangle and I put some flour right here. Let me move these right now so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I put a little line of flour. I want the ropes to be about 15 to 16 inches long, okay? And what I do is I put my little, kind of put it into like a little cigar shape, thick cigar. And make sure that you've got some flour on the ends here. Now, if you're a professional gnocchi maker, you've been making it for years and years, and you're saying, what are you doing? Hey, I'm open for all tips, but this worked so well for me. I was like, well, it tastes like gnocchi. It looks like gnocchi. I guess it is gnocchi, and so I am making it this way. All right, so now you just want to roll it between your fingers. Make sure you always have a little bit of flour on this cutting board. And we're going to make a long rope. So just sort of apply a little bit of pressure, but very little, and just move it around, and it gets longer and longer and longer. I won't need any more of that. Now this flour is on the outside, so it's not going to do much for toughening up the actual gnocchi. So don't worry about that. It's kind of like flouring pasta after you make it. It's just going to kind of come off in that water. All right, there we go. Now, is it perfect? Nope, doesn't need to be. Now what I do is I take my, this is up to you, because really I say now what I do. It's not really what I do. What I really do is I just take my knife and start cutting it. okay? But if you want to be a little more precise, I'm going to show you how to do that. Take your fork and put it right down. You can put it down this way, okay? That's going to give you about an inch in measurement, okay? So you can just then move your fork. So put your fork down and then just cut through the little, and that way you will have the same size gnocchi. Or you can do what I do, just estimate. Looks good. That's it, okay? Either way. All right, now put these over here. Now we're gonna roll them. The reason why you roll them is so that they get little ridges because they hold onto the sauce better. And there's something called a gnocchi board. I've never had one. I really don't make gnocchi that often, so I just have gotten used to using a fork. I think I've made gnocchi 3 times in my life, right? Okay, but I really like it. I really like this version. Now, important, there's gonna be your cut ends and your floured ends. You wanna make sure your cut ends are facing out when you go to roll this. Put it on your fork that I dipped in a little bit of flour, press, and then roll off the fork. And then I kind of give a little squeeze to try to set those 2 ends together, okay? So we have an actual, like, perfectly formed little gnocchi, okay? So I'm gonna do that again for you, and then I'm gonna repeat them all. Meanwhile, our water's just getting boiled, and so we'll put this first batch in. All right, so I set it here, cut ends facing outward, and just sort of roll it off the fork. And then I like to take a little bit of a squeeze at the bottom, just so it kind of holds together. Because sometimes what I've had happen is they open up under the water. In fact, I can show you a dried example of one. I was playing around with an experiment for drying the gnocchi afterwards and reconstituting. But you can see this one totally opened because I didn't do that little squeeze at the end. So that's why I do that. All right, our water's boiling. Now we're gonna go into the boiling water, give them a little shake so that they move around. They're gonna only take 30 to 60 seconds to cook. When they float, they're done. We're gonna get them out onto a cooling rack. Meanwhile, I'm gonna continue to do the rest of them. All right, they're all floating up. Now I'm just gonna take them out and lay them on our cooling rack. Now at this point, you can let them cool and dry at least for an hour or so, and then you could put them onto parchment paper and put them into the freezer. But I'm gonna take those and pan fry them with that sage so I can show you how delicious that is. Or I guess I'll show you how beautiful it is, and then I'll tell you how delicious it is. So now that my first batch is done, what I usually do is just pop them in as I go. All right, last one. Some of them are getting ready to float. So when these are done, like we've got a couple going now, Jeff told me that we need to clean up on aisle 5, which since I'm working with flour, probably means me. So we're gonna go take care of that, and we will get on to making the butternut squash gnocchi with the brown butter sage sauce. You're gonna, oh my gosh, it's so delicious and so easy. And look at this, we are done making our gnocchi right now, and it has been 33 minutes, and that is with me talking through the process. So it is really not that time consuming to make your own at home. I know they don't look like much yet, but just wait. What you want to start out with per serving is 2 tablespoons of salted butter, and we're going to get that melted over medium-high heat. And then we're going to add in our butternut squash gnocchi and then those sage leaves. Wait till you see how they fry up. And we're going to turn the butter into a little bit of a brown butter sauce. Now, with making brown butter, you don't want the heat to be too high. So we're going to go ahead and back that off a little bit. Give it a stir around. This is when I like to go ahead and add in the gnocchi, and I just pour them all in. I have about a dozen in there. Now, if your butter is browning too quickly, back off your heat. And then just let them sit in there and cook, okay? You don't want to turn them because we want to get them nice and brown on the one side. Then we'll flip them, brown them on the other side, get our sage in to fry, and we'll be done. It's that easy. Oh my gosh. Wasn't that quick and easy? And then add a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. And this dish is complete. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is taste one of these sage leaves, just because I would never ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. Trust me, they're delicious. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. So, so good. This is probably one of my favorite things in the world to eat. Gnocchi. Oh my gosh, these are so good. So what you do when you pan fry them is you change the texture. So they are really crisp on the outside, but so soft on the inside. The flavors in this just are fall all over. I mean, this is such a wonderful dish. I can't wait for you to try it. Definitely use the sage leaves and definitely get them crispy.